the forest that drew you in. The drawing was found inside an old sketchbook. There was no title, no explanation, only a date written in the corner and a forest made entirely of black, restless lines. The trees didn't look normal. Their trunks twisted like strands of hair, curling inward and outward as if the entire forest had been woven together by hand. Their branches formed a ceiling so thick that hardly any sky remained. But there was a path, a pale, empty path. It began at the bottom of the page and disappeared beneath the trees. And halfway down that path stood a tiny black figure. It was barely more than a few strokes of ink. A person, or at least that was what it appeared to be. The owner of the sketchbook stared at it for several minutes, then noticed something strange. The figure wasn't facing the viewer. It was facing deeper into the forest. The next morning, the figure had moved, only slightly. It now stood farther along the path. The owner assumed it was a trick of the light, until the following night, the figure moved again and again. Every morning, it was closer to the dark tunnel beneath the trees, so the owner began measuring its position. 3 centimeters, then 5, then almost 10. It was walking, slowly, always toward the same place. The owner eventually stopped looking at the drawing. That was when the scratching began. Every night, soft at first, like a pencil being dragged across paper, then louder. Scratch, 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 always from inside the sketchbook. One night, unable to resist, the owner opened it. The figure was no longer on the path. The path was empty. But there was something new. A small black shape stood beneath the trees, much closer, and beside it was another figure. The owner froze because the second figure was unmistakable. It was taller, human-shaped, and it appeared to be standing with one arm raised, pointing directly toward the viewer, toward the person holding the sketchbook. They closed the book. The scratching continued. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Then came a sound that wasn't scratching, a quiet whisper from between the pages. The sketchbook was thrown across the room. It landed open. The forest was still there. But the path had changed. It no longer disappeared into the distance. It now led directly to the edge of the paper, and standing at the very bottom of the drawing was the little figure. Except now it wasn't little. It was standing much closer. Its face was still nothing but black ink. But 2 thin white lines had appeared where its eyes should have been. They were looking outward, not into the forest, not at the path, at the room, at the person, at you. The next morning, the sketchbook was gone. So was its owner. Only one page remained, a drawing of the same forest, the same winding path, the same tangled trees. But this time, there were 2 figures walking along the path. One was the original figure, the other was taller. And if you looked very carefully at the bottom of the page, you could see a third figure, tiny, standing far away, waiting, as if it had just entered the forest, as if it had come from our side. And perhaps that's the real reason the path is empty. It isn't waiting for someone to walk toward the forest. It's waiting for someone to come out. And that's probably a good place to stop staring at the picture, especially if you've been looking at that little figure for too long, because who knows? Maybe it moved. Maybe you just didn't notice. Sleep well, keep your doors locked, and remember, the forest doesn't need you to enter it. Sometimes all it needs is for you to look. See you next Tuesday for another strange little story. And until then, don't follow the path.